Exposing the pie influencer disaster before it wait, so he's aborting this, he's not killing the company, he's aborting it? Oh no.
This video is brought to you by Ground News. Stick around to hear more about the special offer they are providing to the entire upper echelon community.
It was about soil.
Recently, as in very recently, a particular video went viral on YouTube about a browser extension called Honey. Great video, by the way. Absolutely, you should go watch it. And I'll obviously link it down below in the description. But it focused on a coupon savings application called Honey, which has now sponsored pretty much every single major YouTuber you've ever heard of. I'm not going to list every single individual creator who fell for it right now, because a much better usage of your time is to just go watch the original video itself. But the gist of it is that pretty much all of your favorite YouTubers have been vocally promoting a product called Honey, and very few of them had any idea why that's probably a bad thing to do. Again, please do watch the original video. It's not really possible to fully summarize all of it with just a few sentences, but if I had to try...
The app was a scam. Done.
Honey bad, Honey steal money, Honey hurt creators without them knowing. That's basically it. Now, just to be fair, YouTubers very often get offered exorbitant sums of money to promote various products or services. So much so that I can't really blame them for sometimes
Not for the end user, for creators, I don't give a fuck. Cry. You're such a retard. Go back and watch the original video. You only watched the clip. Watch the whole video.
Looking red flags or failing to see warning signs during the process of due diligence. It happens to all of us, period. It just does. However, Honey has now become a hot topic of scrutiny, largely because of how big it got before anyone caught the problem. Except in my estimation, that same problem is now attempting to be reborn, only this time potentially worse, coming from one of the same founders who is now threatening to middleman the entire YouTube advertising ecosystem, just like they middlemanned the world of affiliate marketing with Honey.
Well, I mean, if you're this guy, right? Well, you did it once. You might as well do it again. Yeah, he knows how to do it. He's already done it.
Today I want to showcase why the recently viral video exposing issues with the coupon code application Honey might just be the tip of the iceberg, and how their new project Pi.org, from one of the very same co-founders, is attempting to demolish the ad revenue of everyday creators like me.
Oh, that's bad.
Why I'm so passionate about it.
That's real bad.
By invasively inserting themselves into the pipeline and siphoning off revenue for no other reason than we should just be a middleman.
So Twitch had this happen, or like, so do you remember when Twitch made that change and they said that streamers couldn't get their own ads, and then a lot of people got really mad about it? This was maybe like a year and a half ago, somewhere around there. This is what they were actually talking about. So if this ends up cannibalizing Google AdSense, I have a feeling that Google is going to figure out a way to make it stop working. You know?
Honey could be more so an early warning sign. And if left unchecked, these guys are going to do the very same thing again to every single industry they possibly can. Let's get into it.
Yeah, of course.
First things first, the service I'm talking about today, Pi, is apparently the registered trademark of a company called the People's Internet Experiment.
What is this fucking... What is this, China? The People's Internet Experiment? The fuck? Yeah, I feel like this is something like North Korea would this is like, yo, North Korea is making internet. That's what they're calling it. Oh, P-I... People's Internet. But that's also stupid. That's so stupid. What is that? That's...
Incorporated, which is itself a California-based company whose key principal is one Ryan Hudson. Let's call him today's main character, I guess. Here's the thing. Ryan Hudson is the previous co-founder of Honey, along with a man named George Ruan, a fact that they seem to be pretty much bragging about on the Pi.org website, which is then even further.
They're bragging about it. They sold it for $4 billion fucking dollars. Bro, if I sold a company for $4 billion, I don't care if this company, I don't know, like, I could think of a bad thing, but let's not. I'd be telling everybody about this. I'd be like, guys, did you know that? Yeah, okay.
Amplified
I'd be right,
by their Google advertising.
Nazi trains, yeah.
It turns out, after doing a pretty hefty amount of digging, refreshing pages and keyword searching so that YouTube might finally serve me a specific advertisement that I was looking for, again, because I remembered, well, now, wait a second, didn't that company say honey in the promo that they just showed me? None of it worked, by the way. I ended up finding this only because they're dumb enough to have an unlisted YouTube channel, which is running raw videos of the ads that they serve with coded names and even the names of the creators who are advertising them directly in it. And from there, I tracked down the actual advertising content itself, which if it now gets deleted, you're just going to incriminate yourselves worse, by the way. So don't do it. But yeah, it turns out that the People's Internet Experiment Incorporated is currently running about 300 different advertisements on Google AdWords. Now, to be clear, as per the advertisement that actually caused me to start looking at all this, Pi.org, the newly designed middleman ad blocker from the same founder as Honey, this new application isn't just aimed at YouTube. No. It's aimed at practically every single creator content platform on the internet. I'm not just trying to appeal to YouTubers right now. If you make music on Spotify, or if you stream on Twitch, or any number of other content platforms out there online at the moment, this might very well affect you if they get a foothold in the business market. Anyway, here it is. And just to be clear, I'm playing this advertisement under the 4 pillars of fair use.
He's immediately trying, because you know they're going to try to shut this down, bro. They don't want it to happen.
And character of the use, nature of the copyrighted work, amount or substantiality of the portion used, as well as the effect of the use on the potential market for or value of the work.
Yeah.
I know my shit. Don't fuck with me. Like the Hex token music losers, okay?
Ooh.
They lost. Anyway, the clip I'm about to show serves the purpose of demonstrating a critical topic.
They had a rap concert for a crypto token? How can you be in that crowd and not know that you're an idiot? Like, you've got to know somewhere deep down inside, right? You've got to have, like, an idea, like, oh, man, maybe I'm a dumbass. They've got to have, like, right? I mean, they must.
And I have a copyright-skilled lawyer on my literal payroll for the purpose of shutting down desperate claims by scumbag companies. So just figured that would be worth saying. Here it is.
This is the only ad blocker I've ever used that works on YouTube, Twitch, and Spotify. This is Pi. It's a free Chrome extension that blocks ads everywhere you go online. And don't worry, it won't download a bunch of shit onto your computer like other ad blockers. Pi is a trusted LA-based company that's actually founded by one of the creators of Honey. The coolest part is that if you decide you do want to see ads, Pi will literally pay you for seeing them. Like, I made money just from this Google search. Good luck finding another ad blocker that does that. Speaking of things other ad blockers don't do, Pi also has a visual mode that lets you watch your ads disappear and see how much space you're saving. So if you want this to be the last ad you ever see, get Pi for free right now.
All right. You hear that?
Yeah, and so I don't really think that something like this could work, because, like, if you're a company, and especially if you're, like, actively... So, like, ad blocking is technically against the YouTube TOS. I think that if you're a company, because this is how Blizzard won a lawsuit a long time ago. So Blizzard won a lawsuit. This is like back 3,000 years ago. And I think it was in courts in Germany. But I feel like it would probably happen here as well. Is that if you build your business around breaking the terms of service and taking advantage of another person's business, they can shut it down. So I don't even know why they're doing this. I'm kind of surprised. The glider, it was for, was it Glider or Honor Buddy? I forgot which one it was, but it was one or the other.
That trusted LA-based company blocking ads on YouTube, Twitch, Spotify, and, quote, everywhere else you go online.
Right.
Which is, first of all, not possible. Not even the best ad blocking software can ever do that. But second of all,
it's uBlock Origin comes pretty close.
To claim that this company will now insert themselves into the advertising process for pretty much every single major platform out there, and then pay the user if they want to see the ads. On the surface, yeah, sounds great. You, as in you watching this right now, the video, might be salivating at the idea of getting paid for the ads that you watch on social media because those ads are mercilessly wasting your time.
They are.
But think about it one step further. This company, Pi.org, cannot, and does not, have an official partnership with all of these different platforms. But even if they did, they do not, and likely could never, have a partnership with the individual creators.
True.
Which means that when you use this application and watch advertisements with it for the purpose of getting paid, you are doing the exact same thing that you would otherwise be doing, except this time, the only person getting paid is Pi. In essence, much the same thing that's happening with Honey. They seem to be stealing the revenue of everyone they possibly can, while making it seem like the end result is better for customers and viewers.
Of course.
As a creator, that is point blank horrible. Before getting into the rest of it here, a lot of what I focus on...
This is what happens, right? Is that, and this is the issue that a lot of these people have, is that if you don't have ads on content can't really exist on the internet because there's no other way to monetize it. So if you're telling creators that they can't have ads and you're taking their money away, at a certain point you end up killing the content. Like, for example, we wouldn't have YouTube if YouTube couldn't serve ads. So there is a tipping point in which so many people are using ad blocker that YouTube can no longer function. And if that happens, I think that's bad for everybody. Now, is that going to stop me from using an ad blocker? No. But I realize that we can't have a world where everybody does it. It worked before. Actually, no, it didn't. YouTube was losing a ton of money, and then Google bought them, and Google was losing money on YouTube for the better part, if not a whole decade, until very recently, where Google actually started turning a profit with YouTube. Because I thought the same thing, and then I looked it up myself.
Content these days, aside from video games, is technology, sometimes politics, and media literacy. That last one is what really matters here, because in a social media dominated online landscape, media literacy feels like it's completely falling apart. To help with that, and also...
I don't think that's true. You know what's actually falling apart? Literacy. No media required. Just the whole thing.
Because it's a tool that I've edited for about 6 months before working with them, which I personally use in the production of certain videos. To help with that, we have today's video sponsor, which is Ground News. Ground News is a media aggregate service which notably cuts through bias and provides as much information as possible to readers. It works by gathering everything in one place, as well as marking key information like corporate ownership, allowing you to compare article headlines and overall content between different outlets. Right here, you can see the feed for a developing story right now about Alex Mashinsky, the crypto fraudster who just pled guilty on 2 counts with a maximum sentence.
Another one? Wow.
Of 30 years. And for anyone who wasn't with the channel back in 2022,
that's crazy.
I actually got a cease and desist personally from Celsius Network because I was one of the first few people criticizing the fraud scheme. Not the first, mind you. That was a guy who goes by the name Dirty Bubble Media, who I interviewed a couple of times. Awesome guy. I was more like the second person. But then a few weeks later, after they cease and desisted me for calling out their fraud scheme, they went Chapter 11 bankrupt because it was a fraud scheme. And now the CEO is serving up to 30 years in prison. I'm going to take a massive W on that one. Regardless, if you follow
the
story on Ground News, there's hour-by-hour updates, and if you go through and start actually reading these, which have all been gathered up nicely for you, there's always more information, much more information, than you would otherwise have from any single source. There's a variety of other extremely valuable tools available on the website, like blind spot coverage or personal bias checkers, but for whatever reason you eventually decide, if you click the link down below in the description or scan the QR code to sign up, you'll get 50% off the Vantage plan, which you can even gift to someone else if you wanted to. Like if you know someone who's just constantly wrong about current events and lives in some kind of massive bubble, give it to them. Again, link down below, ground.news/echelon for 50% off a Vantage plan today. Big thank you to Ground News for sponsoring the channel. Okay, having said all of that, let me expand
I
on...
don't know if there's really a market for that or not, because I think that a lot of people want to live in their delusion, and they view fair representation as being biased. I think Twitter is a really great example of that. Everybody says Twitter is massively right-wing, but it's not. If you go right now, you'll find tons of posts that are Luigi simp posts that have hundreds of thousands of likes. It's not. It's not close.
Something more specific here, because the fundamental premise of let me get paid for the ads that I personally watch is actually super appealing, despite the fact that it's impossible under the current business model.
I
Google,
don't think it's even appealing.
the largest advertiser in the world, I believe, has its own proprietary advertising pipeline.
AdWords.
Let's start with that. This pipeline serves an untold number of websites, millions of them, actually. But among those websites is YouTube. If you think about it, that sort of closed system is actually a monetary holy grail. Because it allows Google to receive ad dollars and then spend those ad dollars on its own platform. They take the money, they serve the ads on various channels.
It's what I always said about vertical integration. You want to see how money really gets multiplied? It's the people that get to keep it in the system.
Split the revenue with the creators who made the content that got the eyeballs, and then everyone goes home happy. Sounds good, right? Well, yes, except if an application like Pi were to become mainstream, it would then mean that YouTube is now taking in advertising dollars and just losing it because they can't serve it to the users, or if they do, it's blocked unless Pi lets them serve it to those users. In which case, they would now have to not only pay Pi themselves because it's a middleman business, but also the individual people using it. Make sense?
Yeah, they're effectively just saying, well, you know, there's 3 slices in this pie, and let's imagine if there were 5. And then 2 of those slices are the viewer, and then also pie itself. Yeah,
that's
no, it makes
very
perfect
obviously
sense.
not going to happen, but let's game it out anyways as if it were. What if we assume that Pi has an actual contract with Google? What if we assume Pi and Google are in it together, or just they want to make more money at the expense of everyday creators, which a lot of people would be completely willing to believe because Google doesn't exactly treat their own creators that well. But regardless, what if we then run the same sort of thought experiment? Pi is now the middleman. If a user subscribes to Pi, they get paid a fraction of the ads that they choose to see, which isn't going to be that many, because why would you watch ads for a fraction of what those ads are even paying with the express intention of only watching those ads for profit, which defeats the entire fucking purpose of advertising to begin with, demonstrating a downward spiral of wasted human lifespans.
And then also, by the way, it diminishes the value of the advertising. Because if you're sending advertisers, if you're sending advertisements to people that aren't going to actually buy it, you're effectively wasting that person's money. Like if you're an advertiser, everybody hates advertisers. So it's like, oh, it's okay to scam them. But whenever you really think about it, if you're a company and you pay for 1,000 views, and then those 1,000 views come from people that would never actually activate to buy your product, you're scamming them. You're scamming them. And especially if you did it and you said these were the analytics, these were the demographics, and then it was something different. That's scamming.
And the rest just...
bot views? Yeah.
The rest of the ads just don't appear. That's less ads that Google can even serve. But more importantly, it's more than likely a total loss of the revenue for every...
People say, I don't really care. You don't know what's going to happen. If you don't care, do you think the advertisers are just going to go away? No. They're just going to figure out better ways to integrate ads into content. And now it's going to be even more annoying. It's going to get even worse. And it's going to be even more prevalent because they're making up for the money that they lost. That's what's going to happen. And also, by the way, oh, well, then I'll just stop watching. Oh, yeah. You're going to stop watching? No, you're not. No, you're not. Nope. Not going to happen.
Single creator on any platform that ever participates. Remember their own videos, Spotify, Twitch, YouTube, and quote, everywhere else you go online?
Yeah.
Do we see the problem? Pi would become the middleman that only, period, only, hurts the creators of any platform it ever manages to work with.
Of course.
And if it even manages to work with one at all, that is to say. thereby decreasing the amount of content that gets created or produced because it's a net negative impact on all creators. Just like its sister company, Honey, which has now been exposed for complex affiliate marketing, URL sniping, scamming, for lack of a better word, across basically every single major channel on YouTube, is a net negative for all creators. Also, adding this in postscript because it didn't make it into the first cut because of how rapidly I was working. They're doing the same thing again, guys. Like, they're doing the exact same shopping gives you cash back coupons bullshit again.
Well, I mean, if you went hunting and there was a buffalo and you shot the buffalo, if you go hunting again, I'd go looking in the same place for another motherfucking buffalo. Run it back. Yep, do it again. It makes sense. Yeah, I got him $4 billion last time. Now, they might run out of buffaloes eventually, but maybe, hey, there could still be 2 buffaloes. Maybe there's 3 even.
Right. Like, exactly the same thing. Right?
Yeah.
It's the same people doing the same thing. I'll talk about the same people in just a second. It's the same. Okay? It's not just the ad thing, right? Getting paid for the ads or ad blocker. I understand how some people might disagree with that, right? It's just a continuation. This is a new company doing the same stuff the old company was doing because that company got sold to PayPal. So now the same people are using a new company to do the same thing that they were doing with the old company.
Right, of course.
Okay? It's kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, people, that's not mind-blowing at all. People do this all the time in video games. Like, they'll level up a character, get the character to, like, a certain rank, sell the account, and then they level up another character, and then they level that character up, then they sell the account with the rank. It's simple. Yeah, it's just this is a $4 billion character potentially. That's a lot of money. Could
just
have
to be clear,
Scarabord or something.
Megalag has done an incredible
That's
job
a lot.
breaking the coconut wide open, looking at Honey, various YouTubers, and even hinting at some sort of larger plot that damages multiple businesses coming soon. But Pi.org is a currently blooming offshoot of that problem.
Of course.
From quite literally one of the same people who created Honey.
Yeah.
And just to quote Megalag himself,
They know how
here,
it works.
nobody is talking about it. For anyone who's not quite convinced on the continuity of it all, though I can't imagine who wouldn't be at this point, the number of listed team members for Pi.org on the official website stands at 25.
Oh.
Of those 25, including operations, partnerships, as in the people who get YouTubers to talk about them favorably, engineering, growth, product, and data, 18 of them are former employees of Honey. When I tell you,
If we did it once, we can do it again. Who's ready for another $4 billion, boys? Let's do it again. Let's run it back.
that the quote, scam
Could it be any more obvious?
that everybody is talking about right now across pretty much all of YouTube. Millions of people are talking about it now, actually.
Yeah.
When I tell you that the problem has simply moved, I mean it. This new company is the same fundamental premise, that is middlemaning revenue with mass advertising as an underpin. It is the same founder, the same development team, and they are currently pursuing advertising with the same sort of underlying techniques. If you look at the advertising that they're putting out there now under their Google advertising,
of course they are.
Right, account, their verified account, it's the same stuff that they're putting out there, or sorry, were putting out there for Honey, right? They're just going to do it again. Because those techniques quite obviously worked. Honestly, not good. As a final sort of plea here, we can be reactive, which is fine. It's the only reason I'm even making this video in the first place. But we can also be proactive when opportunity arises. Yeah. And with the reactive realization that Honey could possibly be a massive affiliate marketing scam, I wanted to jump in and talk about a proactive possibility that Pi.org is attempting to become, with a lot of advertising coming down the pike real soon, the exact same thing, only potentially worse.
Well, there's never a way that Pi can improve the experience above what Google can. Like, there's a reason why people think Google was going to take over the world. It's because their analytics software, the only people that probably have better analytics software is, I don't know, America, China, Russia, and maybe Mossad. Maybe there's a place in Europe too. And I bet Google might even be on par with that. The Google Analytics software and like like data like profile matrices, it's insane.
of what happens next, I appreciate the work of Mega Labs, because that work and whatever comes of it here forward is the only reason that people like me are even giving any
AWS is not even close.
This. And it's also the only reason that proactive instead of reactive efforts might be taken in the first place. To be fair, I don't exactly know what those efforts might be, at least at this point in time. I am not explicitly not saying that we should just blindly cancel this company and hate on every single thing that they do on impulse. But I do think that they need to come out with a pretty crazy detailed description and explanation of how Honey works, how Pi works, how they made it, why they made it.
I don't think you really need to explain it at all. I mean, they made one scam company. They're going to do another one. What the fuck? I mean, I don't need to get scammed twice. Fuck, I get scammed one time. You know, what's the thing? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, never get fooled again. We know what's going on. They're just doing the same thing.
How they profit, and pretty much every single other thing they can possibly think of in the same sort of arena as those questions. Because they certainly do not deserve the support of social media creators outside of their own ability to explicitly earn that support with a valid and beneficial product. Sure. Which right now, Pi.org and also Honey does not seem to have or be. That's it. If you want to support the channel, check out the links down below. Monthly memberships, locals and Patreon, video sponsor, of course, Ground News, great service, special deals, merchandise, social media, etc., VPN deal. But I'll cut it there.
I love the fact that he basically just aborted this company before it even got off the ground.
And stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching. Question everything.
It's so fucking funny.
And have a nice night.
It's just hilarious. Oh my god. Wow. Infinite money glitch? Yeah, I guess so, right? And man, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on or can't get fooled again. I don't know what to say. Watch new Unreal Graphics controversy? I don't know what that is. I'd have to see it. I have no idea. Ground News exposed. Well, I feel like everybody thinks a bias is when I get disagreed with, okay? Create fraudulent service, sell fraudulent service, create fraudulent service with extra features, repeat. Hey, I mean, if I was them, I would say, well, let's see if we can do the same thing again. There's the video. This is really, really fucking good. I didn't even know this was happening. I had no idea about this company, and I guess now I wonder what the people that are working at the company are thinking. Like, you know what they're gonna have to do? They're gonna you know what they should do? They should make a third company and call it Cake. And then basically just do the same thing with the same people, but now it's a different net. Yeah, you rebrand, or cream. Yeah, ice cream or something like that. And like, just come in. What's the scam here? Well, they're trying to middleman and take other people's revenue away without giving it to creators or the companies. So basically, they're trying to co-opt websites and effectively remove the way that they're able to monetize, and then monetize the website on their own with like cookies and stuff. And so, yeah, zero value company. Exactly, right? And so that's really it.